Hello and welcome to the Sunbirdcrochet podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from Germany. Today I don't have any finished projects for you, but plenty of new ones because I've got a bit of a starteritis. I've started many new smaller projects and I've made plans, I've bought some patterns, and I'm really getting into the Advent and Christmas wintry season now. The mojo for the crochet mojo is very high. So let's start with what's on my hooks, right? Since I last spoke to you, which is a week ago, I believe, I have been working on my Moth Lantern sweater, which is a pattern in the current Munich magazine issue. I split for the sleeves and I finished the body. Sorry. We've got a bit of a funny light because it has been snowing outside, and that kind of light quality is obviously kind of, I don't know, it's showing here. It's different light. So I've worked the body in continuous rounds, so not as per pattern, but I don't like seams, so two ways how to avoid a wandering seam. One is you work one round in the one direction and the next round in the reverse direction. So that way you get the seam, and I would prefer to have it under the arm, a straight down seam. If you don't do that, the seam in crochet will wander off to one side and it will look obvious and quite ugly. What I like to do is, if I don't have any special patterns on the body of a sweater in crochet, then I like to join the round here under the arm where no one will see it. And so I don't do a slip stitch join and then chain one and continue. But instead I just make two stitches together where I would normally join, and then I work in continuous rounds, which means I don't do a join and then I raise the hook or the row. I just go on and on and on in a spiral, so to say, and there is absolutely no join at all. But that only works if you have the same stitch throughout without a pattern, just like this one, a plain body. And then I've made a bit of a rib at the end, so the body is finished, and now I'm working on the sleeves. I've started to work on one sleeve, which is this one here, and yeah, it's just a little bit of progress with my Moth Lantern sweater. I had started a while ago a crochet Colourwork cowl, a project which I was very enthusiastic about at the beginning. Then it was completely forgotten, lying in the corner of my room. And now I've picked it up again because I've been joining the colors of yarn, the yarn from my recent trip to Coburg and Bamberg. I bought Roan Felted Tweed in this rust color and also in a bit of a violet color, or like lilac, but a dark one, a dusty one. And then I've also got some leftover yarns which I was working on or with, and also leftover yarn like this one here, which is a very dusty lilac as well. And I'm going to show you how far I've come, but the next color choices will be these. This is a leftover yarn in like a washed out lilac and fingering weight, and this is a salmon colored or peach colored fussy alpaca silk, I believe, yarn, which I bought in Bamberg. So I'm going to do color work with those two, not your usual color work yarns, but I think it will work out. It's going to be a cowl. It's not going to be a garment as such, not like a sweater which you wear and move around in, but a loose cowl. So at the beginning I've made this border here. That is a knitting chart from the Salmon Come Home vest pattern. I bought it. It's a paid for pattern on Ravelry. And I've done this in crochet Colourwork with my leftover yarns. I think it was Katja concept yarn, but I have lost the ball band. And then I've added the Roan felted tweed. That's the orange color, the rust color. And then I wanted, this is a cowl which is going to be huge, but I wanted to pull it in the further it comes up. So I've made a rib in crochet as well. And now I've picked up the yarn again with that color, and I'm going to do more color work. And I've got a choice between salmon or sheep, because I could use the, do I have it here? Let me just check that. Salmon, or I could do this sheep. So just quickly, I don't want to give away anything. I think that's too far away, so that you can't copy that, right? And don't do it. So the sheep is from the Silky Sheep hat pattern, and it's a discontinued pattern on Ravelry, but I've got it years ago and it's in my library, so I was able to use that, or I would be able to use that. And the other one is The Salmon Coming Home by Janine Bajus. Yeah, I've also been using for this part another crochet pattern, and that's a free knitting Colourwork pattern called the PhD Candidate Sweater. And I highly recommend the charts because they are quite easy, also usable for crochet patterns, as you can see. And I still actually think about making that PhD Candidate Sweater in either crochet or knitting. So this is my magical crochet Colourwork cowl, and I'm really happy with this one. Let me show you that it fits there. It will be lovely, but it can still have another section of Colourwork before I will finish it. It's almost over my shoulder, so it will keep me really, really warm. And I'm loving it. There you go. Nice, eh? Yes, very happy with this project. Let's do the episode photo. Yeah, so that's that. And that's not all. I've been watching a new to me podcast, and her name is, I've done it again. It's on my phone, but I can't look it up. So I'll put her name up here. And she was posting lots and lots of ideas for knitting and crochet for what to do with your advent calendars, your advent minis. And two of those patterns she mentioned, I never came across them before, and I felt very inspired to actually buy them. They're both paid for patterns. So the first one is the Mrs. Fezziwig, a crocheted advent wrap by Dawn Barker for Barker Wool. And I've yeah, it's a paid for pattern, as I said, so let me just fold it over. And this is it's like a chevron type granny stitch shawl, and I'm looking forward to make this. And as you know, I've got my 13 days to Halloween 13 20-gram mini sock wool from Das Mondschaf. Back then I was a little bit disappointed that they didn't come individually wrapped and I couldn't open them day by day. So I was, I already could see what the colors were right at the start, but those will be beautiful in this shawl. Also, I've got, and this is now today a little bit of a mix between project chat and incoming. So I've got 2 yarn advents this year. This doesn't count, that was Halloween. So that was Das Mondschaf. Then I've got Frieda Fuchs yarn advent calendar. They are all individually wrapped, as you can see. I don't know yet what they will be looking like, just that it's fingering weight. And she wrote on here the numbers and the color description. So, for instance, 21 will be aubergine, which is eggplant. And number 17 is cayenne. And so on and so on. So I'm really looking forward to this, opening this with you together around Christmas time. And then I've got, wait for it, I've got another advent calendar, but that's a special one. It's from Kraken Yarns. Krake is an octopus, the word in German for octopus. And this is a call of Cthulhu, or how do you pronounce this? That Lovecraft horror story. This advent is inspired by this story. And it's already arrived, I have 5 bags this size. And each bag, they are for each of the Advent Sundays, plus 1 bag for Christmas Day. And in each bag I went for the luxury version, of course. This is DK yarn, merino wool, hand dyed, and in each of those is 100 gram and a mini yarn. It also comes with notions and chocolates and little treats. And I had a sneak peek in my first bag, which I will do now because, because I am naughty. So I see there's chocolate. There are indeed notions. The colors are... Shall I show you the first 2 colors? If you've got the same one, please look away. I don't want to spoil your joy, but just so that you can see how beautiful this yarn is. So you get the big one and the mini. Beautiful, right? KrakenYarns.com. They actually had 3 themes to choose from. One was the Call of Cthulhu, and then there was one with little gnomes, and the third one, which was the wave of, you know, this famous painting of a Japanese wave. Yeah, so they're all sold out, so you can't get them. I see that there is more than 1 notion, and there's more than 1 chocolate in there as well. And also there is a printout. Let me see what this is. Oh, it's a short story by Andre and Anke, who are the people behind Kraken Yarns. And it's, I suppose it's also a story, like a little horror story, but a cozy horror story. So I will keep this for that first Advent weekend, although I will be in Munich for Munich Knits, the festival. And I will probably only open this once I'm back from Munich. Yeah, so this is bag number 1, and I've got 5 in total. So really, really worth it. I think I will make sure that next year I will get another Advent from them again. But back to what I want to make with those yarns. As I said, Mrs. Fezziwig is a strong contender. And then I've got the Shelley sweater, a pattern by the designer Peppergoose Design, who is Susanna Kate. The Shelley sweater is a raglan white neck sweater with textured bodice and hemline details. Top-down construction allows for easy adjustment to length of sleeves and bodice. Skill level suits an adventurous intermediate to advanced crocheter. And she has it in 11 sizes, so it's size inclusive. Again, I've only printed it out in black and white, but you can see how pretty this really is. You've got a kind of a honeycomb pattern here, and there are stripes on the sleeves, and there is a lace pattern here at the bottom. Maybe I will just do this pattern and a little bit down, and I'm not sure about the lace, but this is beautiful and the stripes are beautiful, and there's a little detail on the sleeve. Let me see if I can show to you without spoiling the rest. This is a pattern over, I think, 29 pages, so you get lots for your money. I can't show it to you. I recommend that you go and have a look at this pattern, the Shelley sweater. Now, that's that. As I said, the idea came from another podcaster, and since then I've watched also, now who was it? I know that Ellie from Starry Eyes Ellie mentioned that she's going to post also another episode in which she will talk about her mini Advent projects and patterns, and like especially for crochet. But there was also, who was it? Everyone seems to be talking about Advent, mini yarn Advent, and how to use them these days. So, yeah. Anyhow, these 2 patterns came to my attention, and I bought both of them so that I can make them. And then also I came across a couple of free patterns, and the first one is I've made some of it. Sorry, there's fluff in my mouth. One is a star ornament, which I've made. It's a free pattern, and I've made it using worsted weight yarn or Aran weight yarn. Very easy, but very satisfying as well, because it's a big ornament. The only thing is I've used alpaca yarn, so it's quite soft, and my star is a little bit floppy. So my idea was maybe I can use some kind of starch, and I've read this up before. You can stiffen your crochet by using rice starch. You can buy it. I didn't have any in my kitchen at the moment. You could also use wood glue in a bit of a, I think it's a 1-to-1 ratio, water and wood glue. So you mix it all up, and then you soak that in there, and then you let it dry. You pin it out and you let it dry. But I didn't want to make a glue mess, so instead I've got some normal starch which you use if you want to thicken your soup or something. So it's edible and it's in my kitchen. That's what I had. So I mixed it up and I pinned out what was like this. I pinned it all out so that it really looks like a star, and now I am waiting for it to dry, and I wonder if it will be a little bit more stiff than this floppy individual. Also, while it was lying flat, I got the idea that I would like to make it a little bit more sparkly. So what I did was I added some gold to it. So this is window color. You get them in the little bottles with a nozzle, and I made little dots of it all over it, and this is drying now as well. So that's another idea for an ornament. So a bit of an experiment here. I will try to remember to link this down below, but if I don't, then you can look up my Ravelry page with projects, and I've added the project for this there. Haven't added the photos yet, but you can find the pattern there. And then I also found a free pattern for crochet baubles. I'm all into the crochet decoration ones. So the photo of the original pattern looks like this, and you do need a bauble, a normal bauble. It's like a cozy for a bauble, you see. What I did was I used worsted weight yarn, and I used a 5mm hook, and that bauble which I made has turned out humongous, and I didn't have a bauble to put inside. So what I did was I used some kitchen towel, and I made like a ball, and around it I put some aluminium foil, so tin foil, and that's the inside of my bauble. It worked really well, except I should have made it a little bit more big in there. So now it's because I had pressed it together, it was smaller in size than anticipated. But this is my first attempt at this, and I'm pretty pleased. I will hang it up near my window, and I will make more of those. Also, you see, try and error. No, not try and error. Try and error. Next time, I wouldn't change the colors for these last bit here. I will keep that same color so that you don't see that line where I was sewing it together. But overall, I'm happy. I still had this golden ribbon, so that was perfect to go with my Christmas bauble. I found a few other patterns, little projects, small projects, which would be quick to make, like a mushroom ornament and a little Christmas sock made with granny stitch, in which you can put a chocolate bar. So I want to make that for all of my colleagues at work. Lots of plans. What else? I've written all my Christmas cards, and I wrote 3 cards. Well, I wrote many cards to my family and friends, and also to my yarn friends, so to some of you. And I had written them all out, and I had put them into the envelope. These are some of the motifs I had chosen. And since then, winter arrived here in Germany, and I don't know when I will get to the post office next time. But I want it to arrive at your place in time. So what I did was scrap these handwritten things. sorry, you won't get them. Instead, I took a photo and I made some postcards which you can use. I used the app My Card. I think it's called My Card. So I used that, and 5 of you will receive that card for Christmas. Well, that's it for today. I don't know when I will see you next time, because next weekend I will be in Munich at Munich Knits, and I hope, fingers crossed, that I will be able to take some footage so that I can show it to you what it looks like, and maybe we can meet up there one day. And if not there, then maybe I will have to come to Edinburgh Yarn Festival or Yarndale, or I don't know what. If you make plans for Yarndale, Barcelona, and wherever, just let me know. And well, it's not like I can hop over like that. It's just that wouldn't it be nice to meet up? So keep well, keep safe, as I always say. And I hope that you're going to have a wonderful first Advent. It's hard to believe that it's next weekend already. I don't have any presents yet. In 5 weeks it's Christmas. Oh, anyhow, keep well, have fun with your projects, and I will talk to you soon again. Bye.